Two things fill the mind with ever-increasing wonder and awe, the more often and the more intensely the mind of thought is drawn to them: the starry heavens above me and the moral law within me. Always recognize that human individuals are ends, and do not use them as means to your end. The only thing that can be called good, without qualification, is a good will. All natural capacities of a creature are destined to evolve completely to their natural end. Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. The human heart refuses to believe in a universe without purpose. A man who is free is like a roving bee, which, gathering honey from the flowers, does not destroy them. Live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. All our knowledge begins with the senses, proceeds then to the understanding, and ends with reason. There is nothing higher than reason. Out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. Morality is not properly the doctrine of how we may make ourselves happy, but how we may make ourselves worthy of happiness. Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of another, always at the same time as an end and never merely as a means. All the interests of my reason, speculative as well as practical, combine in the three following questions. 1. What can I know? 2. What ought I to do? 3. What may I hope? Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. Thoughts without content are empty, intuitions without concepts are blind. It is beyond a doubt that all our knowledge begins with experience. So act that your principle of action might safely be made a law for the whole world. Happiness is not an ideal of reason but of imagination. The death of dogma is the birth of morality. From such crooked wood as that which man is made of, nothing straight can be fashioned. To will something and not to do it is dishonest. Man is the only creature who must be encouraged to do what he already knows to be right. From the moral point of view, the life of the individual is only a means to an end, the reproduction of the species. He who is cruel to animals becomes hard also in his dealings with men. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals. He who is a good man is necessarily a religious man. Ingratitude is the essence of vileness. All human knowledge begins with intuitions, proceeds from thence to concepts, and ends with ideas. Genius is the ability to independently arrive at and understand concepts that would normally have to be taught by another person. The kingdom of God is not a matter of eating and drinking, but of righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge. Man's inclination to good is stronger than his propensity to evil. Enlightenment is man's release from his self-incurred tutelage. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. It is not knowledge, but the act of learning, not possession but the act of getting there, which grants the greatest enjoyment. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Immanuel Kant was a real pissant who was very rarely stable. Note, this is a humorous quote from a song by the band The Dead Milkmen, which references Kant but is not a serious quote. It is difficult to say what is impossible, for the dream of yesterday is the hope of today and the reality of tomorrow. Dare to think for yourself. Happiness is not a destination, it's a journey. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. I have two kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent. We should always be aiming to transcend our limits. In order to change the world, you have to get your head together first. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. The greatest happiness you can have is knowing that you do not necessarily require happiness. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. One person can make a difference, and everyone should try.